It's Mortal Kombat time! Hello, welcome to another figure review. Today we're going to have a look at the Storm Collectibles Mortal Kombat Motaro figure. I've been keeping this at bay for a long time because I really want to take my time with this review. This has the potential to be something special. Why? Because it's an absolute freaking beast of a centaur man coming from Storm Collectibles, and it's another one huge, muscly goodness, because Storm Collectibles ain't making small figures. At this point, I'm just like, are they ever going to do a female figure again? Who knows, because they have way too much fun designing stuff like this, and I have fun reviewing it, so let's have a look. And if you want to see more Mortal Kombat Storm Collectibles, I've been there since day one, collecting all of them, so you should really subscribe and keep up with all the new Storm releases. Bruh, is this art? Because it looks like art. Is this like the Mona Lisa of Storm Collectibles? Because this is definitely something unique. But let's have a look at the sizes before I just turn into an art critic. Let's keep the critic part and have a look at the 23.5 centimeters to the top of his head. That means we are going up to 9.2 inches tall. Up to his mohawk, size comparison. Here's Jalter, SH Figure Arts Son Goku, Bandai Salamander's Intercessor, Mortal Kombat Scorpion, Street Fighter 2 Ryu, and Darkseid. So I guess I don't have to point out the obvious anymore, right? He's big! Like, oh my god, almost as big as our Lord and Savior Darkseid, the biggest of the big guys. Now, overall look and detail of the figure. You have an amazing looking face sculpt with a lot of detail in it. You have a lot of texturing also going on throughout his horns, and then you also have the little mohawk, which is very nicely painted. There's some small strains going down, which makes it look even better. He does have like painted lips though, I don't know about that. Has the sharp ears and overall great look. I love the thin line of black around the white in his eyes, and then we got the muscle. Storm Collectibles doing muscly figures. Yeah, of course it's gonna be good. There's also different parts of kind of color in it. There's like the lighter parts where the muscle really stands out, and also his nipples are painted, and it also has a little bit of a shine to it. Also looks makes it look almost a little bit oily, but that's mostly under the camera, will not be noticeable as much. And also, is it just me or is his chest a little bit brighter than his torso? He looks fairly orange, which is accurate to the back. More muscle work, and of course you got the veiny good stuff in his arms, forearms, and a little spike sticking out going down to his fist. And then you got the entire horse body, which I just love how they made this. Now, first and foremost, I'm gonna start off at this point. You have this soft plastic piece which is dripped over the crotch area. Well, crotch area. That's the crotch area of the man, and that would be the crotch area of the horse. He does not have a pee-pee, so don't get your mind out of the gutter. I wanted to say don't get your mind out of the gutter. Get your mind back into the gutter. And yeah, but there's no pee-pee. Anyway, you got the metally parts, which is soft plastic that's just kind of draped over the mold. And it does have a nice metal look, does have also some shading on it. It looks a little bit darker on some of the tips, which is especially noticeable on the tail. As you can tell, with the light radiating off of it, it really elevates that even that much more. And I'll get to the tail articulation. It is interesting to say the least. Back to the topic on the figure. The main mold, you have a fur patch in the back with, is this also soft plastic? No, this is molded on. Got this line in the back, which I guess is supposed to be his armor. The little amount of clothing he actually has. But yeah, you got the fur patch. Very nicely molded. And then you got a fairly good looking horse body. Which again, it seems to me like his limbs, his legs, are a little bit more orange than the rest of the main body. Which does seem a lot more brighter in some parts. But like I'm saying, there's obviously shading in it. There are some spots that are a lot darker in the orange and then go into a lighter tone, especially on the bottom. But overall, yeah, it does look good. I'm not really bothered by it. I say like, well, it stands kind of weirdly out because they have like all kinds of shading going on over there, and this one's just like more straight orange and going into darker tones with the cracks and has, well, the muscle work, you know, like the nooks and crannies and whatnot. And then you also got the hoofs, with a little spike on the back. You can really go deep in this one and really appreciate the little veins and the lines that go throughout all of the body. There's not a dull spot in this. There's just like so much molded on detail. It's fantastic. Now for the articulation, I feel like they did a fairly good job considering what you have to work with, you know, make this movable. So challenge accepted, and I feel like it's been quite a hit. So the head moves back and forth. This is like a Storm Collectibles classic. You have two ball joints, one ball in here, then a long pack that goes into the neck, and the entire torso is soft plastic, so you do not have the slightest problem moving this all the way around. And you got the shoulder, which is on a hinge, and that moves up and down on itself. And then you have a ball joint in the chest area moving all the way around. Can bring it forward, and then it's just disconnected again. You have this piece in there, hard plastic, covering everything up, but yeah, you get some good motion out of it. Bicep swivel, which can be hard to move around considering you have such a massive bicep. Double hinge elbow and a ball hinge in the fist that moves back and forth. Goes all the way around. For your chest area, it's a little bit gappy in that area, unfortunately, but then again, you do get a lot of backward movement. It's again a double ball. You have a ball in there and you have one upper there, but it's really up to you to move this to the back and hide it as much as possible. They give you the option to do so, so I feel like that's all right. Also, when he goes forward, it does leave a gap, but I'm not even really knocking it, because the fact is, if you make more plastic, you can't really make this. What are you gonna do? How are you gonna cover all of this up? It doesn't really work that way. So they just made the super articulated version, as they usually do, and with all the muscle work, you don't really have any option to cover this up. Also goes all the way around, and I'm done moving this around now because the noise of it is awful. Let me see, of the lower half also has a bit of a weird noise. It's not as nimble as I want it to be, but it's alright. Goes back and forth, does tilt side to side a little bit, and it does also go all the way around. That's not really an issue. Now for the legs, actually kind of getting winded, just, you know, moving around, talking. You have the ball joints in there, so it does move out. It does move forward and to the back as much as that. Let me show you that from the side again. That's pretty much all you're getting out of it. Then you have obviously what I think is just a hinge up here, and then there we go down to a ball hinge with a peg in it, but you only get some rotation down there. It doesn't really tilt side to side, and then the lower half does have the same kind of point of articulation in there. Does move back and forth, and you do have some side to side tilting. It's not the greatest, but obviously otherwise you would have just had to hollow this out and make like a big gap on it, and that wouldn't have looked nice. You kind of have the same thing going on in the back. You also can move this one out. Let me show you real quick. Move this out, move this all the way to the back and forward as much as the mold lets it. Then you have the hinge in here, doesn't really rotate. Another hinge in there, doesn't really rotate, and a hinge in the back, while the ball does have some side to side. Once more, the tail can be rotated around at the top one over here, but I feel like it's breaking off because like it's completely rubbery, and they have like a metal wire or something in there. So I was kind of thinking like, you know, you think of like the SH Monsters, Godzilla and whatnot, where they have all the ball joints, but you know, I don't know. Those things usually disconnect a lot. I'm just not. I feel like, well, it does have like a big plastic pack in there, so it shouldn't really break off. It was one of those things I wouldn't really rotate that around too much. It just gonna wear off because it's just soft plastic, and that's not really healthy. But anyway, yes, you have the wire that kind of. It's hard to bend it at the thick part over here because it's just way too much plastic that pulls it back. But for the rest of it, it goes on throughout this entire tail, and it stops at the tip right there, so you cannot move this one. But everything else, it does move all the way out to the side however you want that. So it does have some good posing ability with that, and yes, whew, that guy is pretty big. And for your accessories, wait, what the hell is this? Oh yeah, by the way, for your accessories you get this skeleton guy, and that was my chair just making these weird noises. And I just have the skeleton guy right here because he's actually just a trophy for Motaro when he kills somebody and just holds up the skull. But Storm Collectibles was like, hey, you know what? We're gonna make this guy fully articulated, basically make him just like an entire figure that comes with it. And this is no slouch. So I want to go over the articulation real quick, which is so weird. You have like a ball in the head, which does tilt side to side, doesn't go all the way around. He's nice and bloody, by the way. As you can tell, the blood is shiny. It's really just glowing off of him, which you know, fresh blood will look like that. How do I know that? Don't ask. Also, don't call the FBI. You have a ball hinge in there. You have another ball hinge in there. Well, it's basically the idea. You have ball hinges everywhere. You can also rotate this one around, move this up and down, rotate it around, move this one up and down, and rotate it around. In the chest area, you have 2 ball hinges nicely hidden over there, so you can bring that forward. And also, I wouldn't rotate it on it too much because the ball joints in there might break on that. He does fold up all the way like that. Does go to the back. For your legs, actually there's more. There's like double balls in there. You have a ball that's really stiff in his crotch area, so you can move that up and down and a little bit around, but as it's so stiff I don't want to force it too much. Then ball joint in there, and another ball joint in the knee, and another ball joint in the foot, which doesn't have the greatest range, but yeah, this is, for an accessory, this is quite frankly completely freaking insane. And if that's not enough for you, the Skeleton Man also comes with his own sets of hands. So you got a holding hand, well, kind of sort of fist hand, but there is a little bit of a slot. He has the fist hand on the figure, never mind. So that's the holding hand. That's more like a trigger finger hand if you want to give him a gun. Oh boy, this is getting better by the minute. And he has a grabby hand, booby grab hands, classic. And a kind of a little bit folding hand, so yeah, that's amazing. And then there's the rest of the accessories. You got the Motaro yelling face. Look at all the teeth in there, nice and detailed. You got 2 more hands, one to hold on to our friend over here. Just slide that on. I mean, I've seen it in the pictures, and then he should be able to hold them. Not very good right now, but should work. Then you have 2 more open hands for posing purposes. You have an energy effect. Looks kind of weird, I don't know, but it looks accurate to what I remember at least. And then you also have a hole in there, so you can put that on the base. Here's the base. I'm not a fan of it. You have all these little things, so you can adjust the height of it and just peg it in any hole. Well, you can kind of probably use it also to balance Motaro, which is fairly interesting. And then you also have 2 new, well, not new, 2 replacement ball hinges for the hands, I would say. Or maybe like some of the legs probably have like the same size of that, so, well, the lower legs. It's good that they follow this, because this big guy might break off, so you have something to replace, nothing to complain. And I just want to have another look at this guy, because I think it looks amazing. Very nicely sculpted, like there's tons of detail also in it, and the paint job is just super messy, and just it hits the right spot for Mortal Kombat, so... yeah, this guy alone is, like, they should sell these. Is this based on the skeletons from Golden Axe? I know they did those, I haven't gotten one of those. I did pre-order the pink version because I couldn't get my hands on the regular release because everybody wanted those. But yeah, here's a little skeleton guy. If you have the Golden Axe skeletons, let me know if this one is the same or not, but I don't think he is. I think he's a little bit slimmer. But anyway, that's the accessories. So finally, I was wondering, can you really display him on his back legs? And he does actually hold the pose like they've shown in so many images. I was like, I highly doubt it. Well, I stand corrected. You can actually pull off insane poses like this, which, oh my god, just adds so much to it. Final thoughts for this Motaro figure. I freaking love it. I recommend this to everybody because I don't care. Look at how great this looks. The mold's amazing. He looks like he should in the game. Paint job is good. There's tons of shading in it, really bringing it to life. Obviously the muscle work is fantastic. The articulation gets the job done very well and does not completely dissect the figure into, like, you know, we could argue that, well, maybe he has something in his horse body, but at this point I don't even care about those things. And then the other thing is like, usually when you have a big guy like that, the accessories are kind of lackluster, but Storm Collectibles is like, no, screw that. Other companies do that. We don't do that. You got like your whole little skeleton guy with that, and just an extra figure. And yes, he does come at a price. He's fairly expensive, but you know, with everything you're getting, I don't care. I just like, go out and buy it now. I'm in love with this guy, and yeah, I guess the gaps. Ooh, the gaps. Like that's the only thing I can come up with. Yeah, you can get this. I bought this guy at Big Bad Toy Store. You can still, I think he's still up there, and also like a bloody version with like a green skeleton, I think. You know, pick your favorite, but there you go. 100% recommended. That's gonna do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever Motaro wants.